Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. Now before I start teaching the new topic, let us revise what we have learned in the previous classes so far. First, we have learned about the organs of our body, that is the internal organs and the external organs. In internal organs, we have studied about our bones and muscles. We have also studied about our sense organs such as eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. And in external organs, we have learnt about head, neck, chest, abdomen, arms and legs. In today's class, we are going to learn about two very interesting topics. Now, what are those topics? Let's see. Students, do you know how blind or visually impaired people read or write? Do you know that there is a script with the help of which they can read and write? Well, yes, there is a script with the help of which the visually impaired people can read and write. And do you know what's the name of that script? The script is called Braille. Now let's see who invented Braille. This script was invented by Louis Braille. He was visually impaired and thus the script was named after him. Louis Braille was born on 4th Jan 1809 in France. He was the son of a harness maker. One day, while playing, he was blinded when he was just 3 years old. He invented Braille script while studying in the National Institute of Blind Youth in Paris. Louis Braille developed a six-dot method with the help of which blind people can read and write. Now let's see what exactly is Braille script. It is a special kind of writing on a paper with raised dot that is called Braille. In this script, the letters and the digits are written in a raised manner with the help of which one can identify them using their hands. Thus, it makes the process of reading and writing very easy for visually impaired people. Now, let us see how does this script looks like. Yeah, see here, this is Braille script. They have their own alphabets like how we have ours A, B, C, D. With the help of this script, the visually impaired people can read and write. Let us observe each of this alphabet carefully. You will notice that for every single alphabet, there is a pattern of 6 dots, out of which few particular dots will be raised. With the help of this pattern, the visually impaired people are able to identify the alphabet using their hands and thus they are able to read and write. Now, let us take a simple example of alphabet A. Out of the 6 dots given here for alphabet A, only one dot is raised. That means it is alphabet A. Let us take another example, that is for alphabet B. You will notice that out of the 6 dots given, only 2 vertical dots are raised. I repeat, vertical dots are raised. That means it is alphabet B. Now, let us see with the help of Braille how will the visually impaired people can read. Now, let's learn to write our name in Braille. For example, I have taken here the name as Arya. So, using the 6 dots method given by Louis Braille, we will write the name as Arya. Now, if you look here carefully, I have given here 6 dots for every single alphabet. So, for every single alphabet, there are few dots which are raised here. For example, for A, there is one dot raised, for R and for Y, there are few other dots raised. So, how will the visually impaired people can read this? Well, they only have to touch the raised dots the way how I am doing. They will be doing this only with the help of their fingers. They will touch and they will feel the raised dots. So, they will be able to read it as A, R, Y and A. So, they are only feeling these raised alphabets or raised dots and they are reading this complete letter as Arya. The same way, I want all of you to do this sentence as you can do it, but by only using Braille script. Please do this activity at home. Before I end this topic, I want all of you to watch a short video on Helen Keller. Do you know who was Helen Keller? She was an American author, a lecturer. She was the first blind and deaf person who earned a degree of Bachelor of Arts, and she was also the first person who was deaf blind to write a book. Her story is very inspiring. Do watch her video, children. Look at the picture here, children. Have you ever seen this kind of news on television? Every day on Doordarshan, there is a broadcast of this kind of special news at 6:15 a.m. in the evening from Monday to Sunday. Do you know for whom they read the broadcast of this kind of news? They broadcast this kind of news for hearing impaired people. If you see the news, you will notice that behind the news anchor in a box, there is another anchor who is explaining the news with the help of her fingers and hands. Do you know what kind of language she is using? That language is called as sign language. Let's learn about this language now. What is sign language? It is a language which uses body movements to convey messages. But how do we use it? We use our fingers and hands to create symbols with the help of which we are able to communicate. So what are the messages we can communicate? Well, we can communicate most of the things using sign language like thank you, sorry, had your lunch, or even if you want a glass of water. All such things can be communicated using sign language with the help of our fingers and hands. Who use this language? This language is used by hearing and speech impaired people. That means those people who cannot speak or who cannot hear will use this language to communicate their thoughts and feelings with others. Our body plays an important role while communicating this language. The messages are conveyed using different signs and symbols. Every activity we do has a specific sign or a symbol. So, if you want to convey your message, then you must know the symbol or the sign for that particular message. But where will I learn this language? There are special schools for learning sign language. Let us have a look for few specific symbols for doing various activities. Here we have symbols for drinking and for stop. The lady here is only using her hands and fingers to create a particular symbol. Let's see a few more examples. Here we have taken example for water and for thank you. Again, with the help of fingers and hands, the symbols are created so that your message should be communicated. You can create sign language amongst your friends or your parents. You can create symbols and you can play like whatever messages you want to communicate, you can communicate with the help of sign language. Learning sign language can be very helpful too. You never know, in future you will be able to help some speech and hearing impaired person. It's time for recapitulation. Let us revise whatever things we have done in today's class. We have studied about Braille script. We have studied who invented it. Who invented it, students? Yeah, Louis Braille. Also, we have seen Braille alphabets and we have also done one activity on Braille script. What was the activity? Yes, you can do it. Make sure you do this activity at home because once the school reopens, we are going to ask you about that activity. Next, we have also studied about sign language. We have seen who use it, what are some of the specific symbols for sign language. So, these are the two topics we have covered in today's class. I hope it's clear for you now. For more understanding, please watch the video links given here on sign language and invention of Braille. Thank you. Have a nice day.